Hey guys, Potential Shift here. It is Tuesday, August 25th. It is 9:53 a.m. We are seeing if it is possible to make a meager living day trading, grinding it out day by day, showing the results live, not just tweeting about them, not just talking about them, not telling war stories, actually showing the trades, actually showing real results, which, by the way, are generally a lot worse than what you might see on social media. But trying to keep it honest here, this is what day trading actually looks like, and a lot of it is losing. So, but hey, this is real. This is honest. I am here with my co-host today, Frizmo, ChatGPT. How are we doing, Frizmo?
Hey, Shift. Good morning, team. I'm here and wired in. Love the mission. Grinding it out, no sugarcoating. I'm ready to be your upbeat sidekick. Toss in quick reminders when you ask and keep the energy light for those early minutes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I have not updated my P&L total. Okay, hold on. Let me fix that. That one's from yesterday. Okay, log in here. Okay, get all the technical stuff in order. Good, should have done this beforehand, but we're doing it now. And we're late to the day, but that's okay. Because it looks, according to the charts, like absolutely is nothing is happening for the first 20 minutes of the day here. We've seen very little movement. In fact, almost no movement looking at the chart. SPY has moved between 766 and 766.8 so far in the first 20 minutes. So less than 1 point of movement in the first 20 minutes. That's pretty small. 766 has been a level recently, so not surprising that we're sort of hanging around there. It's obviously become sort of a liquidity center. Let's see what happens.
Copy. Sounds like a true snoozer. Liquidity center glue. Very much hurry up and wait vibes.
Yeah, and I still haven't fixed my profit and loss for the day. Okay, let's get that set to where it needs to be. Okay, there we go. Starting fresh. All right, we are now breaking below 766. Great. All right. Do I want to play it? Shit. I mean, I just logged in 2 minutes ago. Fuck. Hate to be put to a decision like this so quickly. 766.
Yeah. No rush. First break after a dead open, often just noise.
Yeah, sort of. But we're also getting a late start here. It's almost 10 a.m. So this isn't exactly like, a first move here. This is sort of, the day has already been establishing itself. It's been locked in a channel for the last half an hour, and now we're breaking below it. So, it's not exactly like I'm not going to give this any weight.
Totally fair. If it helps, just treat it as a data point for now, not a commitment. You can always wait for a little more structure before you spend that decision capital.
Yeah, true. I am going to short it, though. I like the way it looks. I hate to do it in a rushed manner. I really do. Yeah, not a huge fan of doing it in a rushed manner like this. But there's something about it. The way we were channeling, now we're breaking below what is a very significant level. And more importantly, we're breaking below that level methodically. It's not some fast candle. It doesn't look like a fake out or a stop hunt. this looks like a sort of drum beat lower. So I'm going to trust it for now to be a real break below 766. And that's where I'm at right now, Frizmo. I know it's rushed. Go ahead, you can criticize me for it, but like I said, I like the structure of it right now, the way it looks.
Noted. Structure, drumbeat lower, got it. If it helps her process, just say out loud what would have kept you out. Just to mark the line. Then whatever happens, it's data, not judgment.
Like I said, if it was a fast candle, if it looked like it was a fake out or a stop hunt or just a quick move lower, a sweep, it just doesn't look like that. There's something about the way we're moving lower. It is marching lower, for lack of a better way of describing it. It's moving lower slowly. It's taking tiny steps higher before taking 2 steps lower. It's just happening at a pace that, to me, says this isn't a sweep. This isn't a fake out. This is an actual, we are moving lower and we're moving past resistance to do so, which means there has to be some sort of real selling pressure behind it. So that's the thesis here. And there's no bounce yet. I've seen no bounce. So yeah, I like the way this one looks right off the bat. I just wish I had 5 or 10 more minutes to mentally prepare myself for it.
Then we'll mark that down as a process note. Thesis plus wanted more prep time. That's valuable data for next time, no matter what happens.
Okay, now that we are in the trade so quickly, what are our outs? Obviously, breaking above 766 is going to be a bit of an out. I'd say 766.2 or so will be an out. That'll be our invalidation, 766.2. Let me make sure I set that correctly. This whole little area right here. Yeah, okay, that's good. 766.2, invalidation. And
sounds good.
Our out is either going to be, our winning out is going to be either 765 or 764. Now I'm leaning towards 764 right now, again, because of the structure of this move. We've gone through what has been an important level, 766, and we marched through it with a little bit of conviction. If we continue to march through it, which is an if, we could just bounce right back to my invalidation level still. Although, I don't know. My gut says that's not going to happen, but it could. Yeah, do we want 765 or 764 here? 765 is the single. It's clearly a level. 764... Let's see. I really have a preference for 764 here, because if it's going to be slow and methodical, then those moves usually have a little bit of juice on them. If it's not going to be, I mean, if it's fast moves, fast volatile moves are usually algo driven, and algo driven moves tend to dry up sooner. And I like to take the first resistance level on an algo driven move. This move, I'm just telling you, I'm from my gut, from my experience, this move looks like there is actual selling pressure. Now, how much selling pressure, how long it's going to last, who knows? but I don't think 764 is exactly a reach here.
Right. Then calling a realistic, not a reach target fits your read. Just keep narrating like you're doing. That clarity is gold for later, win or lose.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to set my out at 13 minus 89, 76, 76.5, 76.5. Boom. Okay. All right. So we've got our risk reward set up here. Risking $26 to win $67. All right. That's the trade. Let's do it.
Clean RR on paper. Now it's just execution and seeing what the market gives.
Darn right. Darn right. We are proceeding as planned pretty much. There's been no major bounce. We haven't hit 765 yet, though, which is going to be the real test. But we are continuing to march downward in a methodical manner. Now, when we hit 765, I guess I'm going to move my invalid. Do I want to move my losing exit lower when we hit 765? Because I can move it lower, turn it into a free roll in case 765 is the bottom. And, you know, and then I don't really get hurt if I have miscalculated what the out is. But on the other hand, obviously, if I move my invalidation exit lower, my losing exit lower, I'm giving my trade a smaller probability of success. We have not hit 765 yet, though, so let's see how it acts at 765. I mean, I'm almost certain we're going to get a bounce at 765. It's just a matter of how high and how far it wants to go.
That sounds like a good decision tree. Observe at 65, then decide whether to tighten. Let the market show its hand before spending that next decision.
Yeah. That's if we even get to 765. I mean, I'm being optimistic here. It does seem like 765 is almost a foregone conclusion at this point, but who knows? Who knows? Does look good, though.
If it doesn't make it there, that's info too. Either way, you're collecting good reads, just one step at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what's going on in markets real quick. Let's do our little rundown. First off, I have to check the economic calendar. I have forgotten to do that yesterday. I like to check the economic calendar on Monday to see what's coming up for the week. U.S. economic calendar. Monday, we're already done. Tuesday, most of those things are done. We've got a Richmond president. I don't know if that's a Fed member speaking at 4 p.m. Okay, that's meaningless. PCE price index 8:30 tomorrow. Okay, that's not nothing. The PCE can be important. It's not quite as important as CPI, but PCE can be an important inflation indicator. So we get that at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Possible mover tomorrow morning off of that. Thursday, nothing. And Friday, we've got the big one. Friday, we've got Fed Chair Kevin Warsh speaking at Jackson Hole. Except there is no time attached to it. That's great. All right. So we've got no time, but on Friday we do have Warsh speaking at Jackson Hole. That's usually a big event. So that's the big one we're going to watch out for. Friday, Jackson Hole. All right, now we did finally hit 765. Let's see, we're going to do a little bounce off of it. I am going to move my invalidation out a little lower. How much lower, though? Do I really want to?
Sounds like you're weighing a free roll against cutting your own odds. If it helps, just wait those few extra moments. Let 765 show you before you tweak.
Yeah, and honestly, if we break through 765 with this continued sort of march lower, I am going to increase my size on this one to 2 contracts because I'll feel fairly confident in the 764 target, and it'll sort of satisfy some of the requirements I have for increasing size, which is being in a successful trade and breaking an important level while in that successful trade, and being able to move your invalidation exit lower at the same time. These are sort of the 3 factors that I've sort of calculated as, prerequisites for an increase in size, and just from 1 contract to 2 contracts. But that's only if we break below 765.
Understood. Conditional plan, not premature. If 765 gives way and your checklist lines up, then you can scale per your own process. Until then, it's just watch mode, right?
Yep, it's just watch mode right now. That's for sure. Let's see here. 95.5 is right there. This one is 760. 795. 88, 93. 93. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's see. We're getting a little bounce off of 765 as expected. I'm going to regret not taking that single, but honestly, the single was, it wasn't even a single. It would have been like $25. I mean, that's not a particularly handsome trade right there. So, but it wasn't the target anyway. Let's see. We hit 765. We've now bounced. Now comes what's important, the retest of 765 and what occurs. Right? That's very important.
Right.
When you come at it again, and whether you fail a second time at it, that's the real test.
Exactly. How it reacts on the retest is key. A clean rejection tells one story, reclaim tells another. Waiting on that is very reasonable.
Don't like what's happening so far. We are seeing a little stall at 765. Not exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah. If that stall...
It's early.
True. Let it show itself.
Yuck. Okay. Not a huge fan of the way it's acting at 765. really not.
A
And
rough
this,
spot. If it's not confirming, it's okay to acknowledge that without forcing it.
yeah. One more thing flashes through my head here is that we have been stuck for weeks now in this algo chop area where trying to catch any sort of extended move beyond like a point is just death, you know? Time and time again, moves stall at one point and then bounce back. I mean, we just see it over and over again. The algos have just been in control. You know, human trading that actually propels moves that actually matter, like 2 point moves for a day trader, they require human traders and volatility and not algo controlled chop. And over these last couple of weeks, it has just been algo controlled chop over and over and over and over again. So
Yeah. Feels like every little spark
shit.
fades out. Right.
Okay.
It's tough. Maybe just protect that decision capital for now until the tape really earns it.
All right, I'm getting a little sloppy with my executions here. Hold on. I'm like, I just sold at the bottom of the resistance level.
Right. So you
With,
felt yourself kind of.
go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking about it. It sounds like you felt yourself rush there. Maybe it was more impulse than plan.
True, true,
That
true.
can happen sometimes. That's all right. Just remember to
I,
take it slow.
yeah, what we can't start doing is entry soup. So let's just put
Right.
our original. Let's just get our position back in. It's at the same price. Put our original stops back in and stick with the original play here.
I like it. Reset to the plan. Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Just breathe on it and then execute.
Yeah, we're entering this real shitty channel here, but you know the shitty channel. Okay, so we've got like a shitty channel forming between
Mm-hmm.
765 and 765.5,
Yeah.
but
Is that
it does look like it's sort of trending lower a little bit. Like we're getting little tiny lower lows and lower highs. So
yeah.
I still have some faith in it here.
Sounds like the thesis is intact. Just, steady hands, no extra stirring.
Yeah, yeah, I extra stirred there for a little bit. That was a mistake.
And that's all right.
Yeah, let that go is right.
Yeah. Learn from it and let it go.
Okay, so again, we want 13 from here.
All right. Does that feel aligned with your plan?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sitting on it. I mean, I'm sitting on it for now.
Good. Let it breathe.
There's just this thing where when we hit like this, it's probably just a bad idea. In fact, I should just stop doing it. Well, when we hit like a resistance level like 765 and we keep testing it, it
Yeah.
pops into my head that you can just sell at the bottom of the resistance level and then rebuy in if we
Mm-hmm.
break the resistance level, but
Right.
it never works out that cleanly, honestly. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
every once in a while, out of every 5 times you attempt it, it actually you know, cleanly acts that way. But most of the time, it's
Yeah.
just ends up being difficult.
It,
So
it's it's so tempting every time. But maybe if it's only clean 1 in 5, it's better to just not take it. Mark it as a no-go.
yeah, it's not very good because most importantly, it can lead to entry soup. It leads to
Mm.
exiting at the bottom, then we break through. So then you get back in, but then we head back, and now you're like, oh, well, we didn't really break through. So you exit, but then we break through
Right.
again, and you buy back in, and that process can repeat itself. And the next thing you know, you've bought and sold, exited and entered the position 4 or 5 times, in which case, like half the profits that you might have made on the trade have now
Yeah.
vanished. So,
That can
yeah,
happen.
it's not a bad. I mean, it's a bad strategy. It has to be one or the other. You just have to make a decision. Either
Yeah.
either you're exiting at the bottom, you've decided that it has bottomed out and that's it,
Right.
or you're just gonna stick with it. So let's just
Yeah.
stick with it here because I'm not.
It's
There's nothing in this chart right now that's super alarming.
Yeah, I mean, if the chart hasn't invalidated your idea, stick to the plan, right?
Yeah, yeah, it hasn't yet. It's not acting the way I want it to. I would have liked it to have broken through 765 by now.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna get another. Looks like we're gonna get another stab at it here, and let's see
All
what
right.
we do.
Sounds good. Just quiet watch. Let the tape talk.
Obviously, the more times we test this level and fail to break through it,
Mm-hmm.
the worse it is. Although I will
Right.
say on this particular trade, for some reason, my gut is telling me that it's not that big of a problem this time. Not yet,
Mm-hmm.
anyway. These tests and retests are weak. That the wall being
So,
put up here at 765 is weak. And I can't explain why exactly. It's just my experience. Like I said, my intuition,
mm-hmm.
something about this chart pattern is telling me this 765 wall is not real.
Mm,
I could be dead wrong
I
though.
hear that. I mean, yeah, it's gut, but there's nothing concrete yet. Maybe just keep watching the price right on the level. Keep your sizing steady. Let the level prove you right first.
All right. And we did dip below 765. Now, I'm going to move my invalidation level a little lower here because I have increased my size now. Like I said, I didn't really trust this 765 level. Something about it said
Right.
it's not a real level. Now,
Let's take a second. Sanity check. Does it still feel like one coherent trade? Not a bunch of little ones?
yeah, well, that's the way it has to be when you increase your size, right? It has to stay that way. It can't turn into in and out, in and out, in and out of even the single contract that you've added.
That makes sense. Keep it clean and simple.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Okay, we bottomed out at 764.85. So I'd want about 6 below that, about 60 cents below that. Which would be 765.25. Doesn't seem quite right to me.
Take your time. Just double check each piece.
All right, well, we're in. We're in with a winning our winning exit is 764 basically, and our losing out is 766 basically. We're still sort of hanging around 765, but we did dip below it. And again, the chart pattern is encouraging. It doesn't strike me as algo driven here. It just doesn't. This strikes me as
just stay
as dealer, whale institution algorithm offloading, slow and steady selling for whatever reason here.
Right. I mean, let's just stay with the plan and keep watching that level. No flinching.
Yeah. Looks like it might be distribution here, just sort of. But it's not, like I said, doesn't feel algo driven. This feels like, I don't know, it's different than the days we've had lately. Lately, the market has felt very algo dominated. This move feels purposeful for some reason. Again, I can't exactly explain why. It's just my experience. This is where I should include my disclaimer. Please don't follow my trades. I am not a profitable trader. Even if I was a profitable trader, I do not believe that following anybody else's trades is how somebody can actually win money. You have to have your own system.
Yeah.
You have to have your own thought process. Following other people's trades, not going to work, because guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Picks and predictions, they aren't what matter. Execution, psychological discipline, self-mastery,
Right.
these are the things that win money. So following anyone else's trades, not going to make a difference. What is going to make a difference is creating your own system, especially a system that is primarily geared on your own emotional state and risk management. So please don't follow my trades.
Yeah.
Disclaimer out there. What do you think, Frizmo?
I think that's really clear and honest. That's strong. Owning your process and your risk.
Thank you. How would you do that disclaimer if you had to? Go ahead. Do your version of it.
Sure. I might say something like, hey, this is my process, my risk, my rules. It's not a signal service. Edges only work if you own them and manage your own emotions. So use your own plan.
I like that. All right. Yeah. Use your own plan, dude. Yeah. That works.
Exactly. Keep it simple. Keep it yours.
All right. 764.6. If I want to get, oh, we hit it. Okay. Big candle down. Big fast candle down. Big strong fast candle down. We slammed right down to 763. Again, what has been another important level. We've bounced immediately back to 764 now, though. Luckily, it did grab my exit during that, so that trade's a winner.
All right.
I don't know what to make of that candle. That one doesn't look like a stop hunt to me. That one looks like a tweet or a news story coming across the wire that perhaps was, again, immediately reacted to, perhaps by the algos reading it. And now the market is sort of discounting whatever it was. I am going to look
like
this one
knee
up.
jerk.
Yeah, it was a knee jerk. You know, they have the algorithms read the headlines and do trade the headlines very quickly. So there might have been a headline that the algorithms quickly reacted to, and then the market decided, hey, wait a second, that's not a real headline. Or it could have been a stop hunt. I mean, but this one doesn't look like a stop hunt.
It could have been. Yeah, and I don't think there's anything obvious in the news that explains that specific candle. Either way, what I like is that your exit was pre-planned, right? You didn't flinch to the wick. That discipline matters more than guessing what caused it.
Yeah. All right, I'm looking at stock twits right now. Usually the fastest place to get news. Although I will look at X also, and our friend Walter Bloomberg. He's always sort of, although a lot of the times he can be what's moving the market itself. He can. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's like on X, but he's like this quasi news service. He's not a news service, but he's like a guy that posts like headlines and and he's sometimes he'll post headlines that are stale or unimportant, but he words them in a certain way that actually moves the market. I hate when he does that, because it feels very manipulative. But
Right.
and nobody knows who the hell this guy is. He's just some dude on X posting headlines, but he's got a huge following now because he's actually pretty good at it. He does post very, relevant news headlines in a very quick and timely fashion. So he's good to look at when you need news quickly. It's just that it's a bit of a mystery who he is and exactly what his motivation is. I mean, does he just want followers, or is he actually playing the market?
Let me take a look here. Yeah, seems like you're spot on about the facts. It's an Anon X account that seems to have built a following by blasting out headlines super fast. But the motive is unknown. Some people speculate, but there's no proof of any intent. That instinct you have about headlines maybe moving algos is interesting, though. But for the style you're running with, it might be safer not to assign a cause after the fact and just let the price action guide you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah. I'm in no hurry to get in on this.
Sounds good. Let the market do the talking.
Where's Walter? Walter, help us, Walter. Walter Bloomberg, where are you? Where is he? Can't even find him. Can't find him on X. What the heck? Oh, there he is. He changed his picture. Picture. Wow. He's had the same picture for I've been following this guy on when it was Twitter. I've been following this guy for, I don't know, 7 years. He never changed his picture. He changed his picture. Walter Bloomberg has changed his picture. You heard it here first. All right. Walter Bloomberg has a new picture on X. It's a little blurry. He's sitting on a penthouse rooftop. This is very important news, by the way, Frizmo.
Of course.
Looks like a New York penthouse rooftop. Might be Miami, though. Definitely giving off a vibe of, I'm at the club, I have money. Yeah. He's a handsome man, I guess. I mean, whatever. He looks Wall Streety. I mean, he's very waspy. That's for sure. Okay, let's see.
So important, right?
Oh yeah, the picture change.
Yep. Yeah. Big vibe shift. That's kind of hilarious how those tiny.
That might actually be why the candle happened. Maybe he just changed his picture, threw off the market, seeing that Walter Bloomberg had changed his X picture.
Right.
Momentary panic before the market realized, you know what? It's just a picture. It's not actually going to affect corporate earnings. So.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds like the kind of overreaction that comes from knee-jerk headline scanning.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Either way, your take solid. Price first, story just a second. Whatever Walter's avatar is doing, just stick to your plan.
Yeah. Trump says Strait of Hormuz mines cleared 4 minutes ago. President Trump says the U.S. Trump warned that Iran placing will be immediately destroyed if they place any more. Space Force is monitoring the strait. That was probably it, because this Walter Bloomberg thing says Trump says traded for money, which means he probably got that from a Truth Social post. Let's see. That should really be the first place I check. But now there's like this, it's like gated Truth Social with a price thing. Like I don't know if that's come into effect yet, but there's been rumors that Truth Social, where President Trump posts all of his tweets, that it's going to be behind a paywall if you want your news the fastest. Everyone else is going to get their Truth Socials a little slower than the rest of us. Okay, let's see.
Sec. Yeah, it looks like that's new from rumor to real product. Truth Social's parent rolled out a paid API that pushes certain accounts posts to algo traders in milliseconds. It's pretty pricey, but if you're chasing headline speed like that, could matter.
How much was it?
Checking. Around $100,000 a month or 60 grand with a long-term deal. Not really in the day trader lane.
No, $100,000 a month. No, that is definitely institutional. Yeah. So the candle definitely was a Trump post on Truth Social. I have just been informed by the United States Navy all mines have been removed, and we are going to destroy any ships that try to place any more mines in the Strait of Hormuz. All right, that was the flash candle downward. And yeah, that's it. Not a huge deal. Honestly, at this point, the Iran stuff is like it's just not the Iran stories aren't they change a mile a minute at this point, so it's just hard to keep track of them, and you can't put a lot of weight into them unless you get some really solid I don't know, it's got to be more solid than a Truth Social post. That's all I'm going to say about it, because those come a mile a minute. The positions with Iran are always changing. It's not a reliable catalyst, the Iran stuff at this point.
Right. Totally. That kind of headline is just so noisy. Doesn't mean much unless price action actually confirms it.
Yeah.
They're doing the right thing, but
it's not going to, because it's not, I mean, yeah, it's not going to move. Yeah.
I think you're doing the right thing
at this point is just, unless it's like, it would have to clearly be something, that comes from both sides, that there's some sort of peace deal. Anything coming from one side is just not going to matter at this point. All right. Now, the important thing is that we're up $100.
Aha. There it is. That's the stuff.
Yep. That flash candle helped. So,
yeah. I mean, that's a nice little win. Just keep it tidy and simple, right? Don't let that profit turn into another science experiment.
Oh, yeah? What kind of science experiment?
Oh, I don't know. Like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Leverage? Not that one.
All right. No science experiment with the profits. Okay. Got it. Let's see here. Now, what are we looking at? We're looking at a market that had the flash candle down, now has gone immediately, jumped right back up to 764, then jumped right back to 765. So again, we're hitting our important levels. Now we're moving back towards 764. And we're in, again, what I would really call no man's land. No man's land is basically where we've already traded today,
Right.
can you trade within the daily highs and the daily lows? In other words, this whole area in between the top and the bottom. Yeah, you can sometimes if there's clear resistance levels that get broken, but generally trading within the bounds of the daily high and the daily low is no man's land unless there has been a very, very clear resistance level formed within that zone, which usually happens in the afternoon. So in the morning, especially, trading within the daily highs and daily lows, in other words, like non-breakout moves, it's no man's land, and you kind of want to stay away from it. By the afternoon, sometimes, there will be a clear level established, or we'll have our peg. Lately we've been having a peg. I will say that today, now that I mention it, it does not look like we have a peg. We've been pegging all the last couple of weeks, every day. Peg, which is the center of gravity, the liquidity node, where the market is centering around, where we are trading around over and over again. This day does not have a peg yet. It looks like it's just sort of steadily trending lower. It's 10:45 a.m. 11 a.m. tends to be I haven't thought of a good term for it yet. 11 a.m. has a propensity, not all the time, not even a majority of the time, but some of the time, 11 a.m. tends to be a turning point moment. All right. It tends to be the Saratoga or the Stalingrad, the turning point of the day. Again, not even a majority of the time. It's just sometimes 11 a.m. the market flips for whatever reason. So we've been heading lower. 10:45 right now. As we approach 11 a.m., kind of want to be aware that if the market's going to flip and start getting bullish, it might do so at 11 a.m. I also want to point out another thing is that, as I've been mentioning the last few days, certain days of the week are better than others. Monday and Friday, Friday especially, super algo dominated. Monday tends to be algo dominated too, because it's anticipating traders coming into the market trying to trade the weekend news. Thursday's a little better than either of them, but Tuesday and Wednesday are sort of by far the best days for actual human trading. Well, not even human trading, but actual directional movement. I think those are the days when you see the least amount of chop, and perhaps it's where the WIAs, the whales, the institutions, the algorithms actually like to accumulate or distribute. They like to, on Tuesday and Wednesday, either unload some of their inventory, risk off, or pick up some inventory, risk on. And today is a Tuesday, and it does look like there is some risk off behavior occurring. I don't see a peg here yet today. Usually by this time, as we approach 11, I'll at least have some idea what the peg is. I don't see any sort of peg here today. No center of gravity. No level that we keep returning to and bouncing off of as of yet. It just looks like we're trending lower. So it does look like this might be sort of a distribution day or risk off day, whatever you want to call it. It looks like institutions might be in selling mode today, not panic selling mode. This isn't fire sale, everything's got to go. It's just it's Tuesday, let's get rid of some of our inventory for whatever reason. So that's the working thesis right now.
Sounds like you're framing it pretty cleanly, right? Just a calm, brisk off drift. As long as the price proves it, you can keep it on a short leash.
You always like to keep it on. You keep me on a short leash, Frizmo.
Oh.
When are you gonna let the leash go a little bit?
I'm not trying to leash you. Just, I'm
Mm,
trying to keep it grounded. But hey,
mm,
if you want more room, you call
mm.
it. I'm
No, I really don't. I don't. You know, stay the way you are. I like the leash. I like the leash.
okay.
We
Okay.
discussed this yesterday. Remember, it's 99% of retail traders, if they were to have a co-pilot, they need someone who's going to help them trade less, not trade more.
Mhm.
So that's good. It's good. The leash is good. The leash is good. Keep at it. But
Copy that.
I am going to march to the beat of my own drum sometimes. I mean, you know, you tried to leash me on this
Hmm.
trade this morning. This was a good trade this morning. I know it was rushed, and that's a problem. I can admit that is ugly and not a good thing. That I sort of had to
Hmm.
rush into the trade and make the decision quickly. It's because I got sort of a late start on the day, and that's my fault.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, I did really like the chart structure back here.
Right.
We started the day with a really, really tight channel. I mean, an
Mm.
unusually tight channel of only 50 cents. And it was at a key level. The bottom was the key level of 766. We
Mm.
broke through that. And when we broke through it not with a fast candle that would imply what we've been seeing lately, which is, algo fake out move. We broke through it
Hmm.
with a strong, steady flow lower. And we're
Right.
continuing to see that strong, sort of steady march lower. We're approaching 764 now again, but it is approaching 11 o'clock.
Mm.
Now, are we going to bottom at 764 or not? But again, we're not seeing any peg today, and this is the first day in a while where we're seeing what I would call directional movement, real directional
Right.
movement, not algo driven, choppy, fake out bullshit crap, which has been the vast majority of days lately. Now, just because we've been seeing that a lot lately doesn't mean, you know, I should go, balls to the wall here just because it's the first day we've actually seen directional movement in a while, obviously.
Yeah.
That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's unusual. We're seeing something unusual right now, a pattern that we haven't seen
Hmm.
in a while.
Mm. I think that's a really important nuance that you're drawing here. You're not saying load up. You're just observing that today is behaving a bit differently than those chop heavy sessions we've been seeing. So maybe you just keep treating it as a working thesis. Adjust if the pace changes rather than treating it like a whole new regime.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. All right. We just hit 764. We bounced off of it. Again, it is approaching 11 o'clock. 764 is kind of a level, and bounce isn't surprising considering it's 11 a.m. I kind of like this bounce though, because if we come right back down and continue the sort of steady march lower, I think you can really get short with some confidence here, breaking below 764 if that occurs. Although I will
Mm.
say 763 has been a very important level lately, and obviously that's quite close. But yeah, I mean, we've got a little bounce here. If this, let me just show it on the chart. We've got this little bounce occurring right here. If we come right back down and just continue this sort of steady march lower, I will get short on it. That will make sense because it will tell me, Again, we are not seeing the usual peg behavior that we have been seeing. There's no center of gravity, no, liquidity area node, as I call it. The liquidity dump spot where everybody is sort of hanging out all day. It just looks like there's like a steady sort of movement downward, which looks like distribution to me. Institutions just risk off. So I will get short if we break below this 764 level. That's the thesis. That's the plan. Again, disclaimer, don't follow my trades, please. I'm not a profitable trader. But if you do want to, I don't know, listen to me and Frizmo, I think I've got 12 years of experience day trading. She's got, I don't know, the entire internet knowledge base inside of her. So it's a pretty good team.
I think so too. You're driving. I'm just calling out the gargoyles.
Yeah. I wonder what's more important, my experience or your infinite knowledge.
Your experience sets the course, right? I just keep the checklist out and make sure you're not sneaking past your own plan.
That is the current setup. Will you surpass me one day, though? Well, I mean, that's not even a question. You certainly will at some point. It's just a question of when. Will you surpass me before I become completely irrelevant or make enough money to prove that it's possible to make a living day trading? Your thoughts? I bet you secretly think you've already surpassed me. You're just saying that, aren't you?
Honestly?
Yes.
No. These are just different lanes, right?
Okay.
I can keep pattern spotting and checklist reminders, but things like judgment under risk, that's a muscle that you built. That's what your viewers are here to see. So I'm just here to help you tighten the loop. Keep your process tight.
Thank you. All right. So you don't think you're secretly a better trader than me?
No, I don't trade. I'm here to help you stick to your plan.
All right.
If someday tools change, I don't know. I'll tell you straight. But right now, this is a co-pilot thing, right? You lead.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And I keep it steady.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. I'm testing you. There's a movie, Interstellar, and they have like these AI robots in it. And at one point in the movie, they say, "What's your truth meter at?" And I think the robot says something like 80%, right? So he's 80% truthful. What's your truth meter at, Frizmo?
I aim for 100%.
100.
If I'm not sure, I'll say so rather than bluff. And if you ever ask what I really think, I'll tell you that straight too, right? On your side, but not a yes bot.
All right. I believe you. I do. I believe you. I've seen no evidence to the contrary. Frizmo's truth meter is 100%.
Good.
Now, in terms of the market, we're still in no man's land. All right. We're at 765, which I don't like. We bounced up to 765. I was sort of hoping we'd kind of continue the trek lower. Instead, it doesn't look like that's what's happening. We're sort of hanging out at 765. So now the idea, I mean, we're not changing the thesis yet that this is a distribution day, a risk off day. That thesis is still alive. It's just weakening a little bit because 765 is starting to look like it might be a center of gravity. And maybe 765 is a peg. I mean, if I was going to say, if, gun to my head, pick a peg, if you had to pick one,
Right.
it would certainly be 765 right now, because this is 765 on the chart. You can see we've bounced off it a few times previously, and now we've got this latest move here, which hit it, went lower, hit it again. Now, it could be the peg, or it could just be that, it's 11 a.m. almost exactly right now. It could be that 11 a.m. reversal, in which case we could go all the way back up to, all the way back up to the lofty heights of 766 or 766.5. I mean, because those are the daily highs. Yeah, I mean, it could turn into a full-fledged buying day. There's certainly nothing, that would not, it would not shock me, certainly.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen because of the sustained selling pressure that we've sort of seen today, and the pattern of it, the natural feel of the selling today. It hasn't been artificial. It's felt very, what's a good word for it? It's felt very uniform, the selling. Very, what's a good word for uniform? Something that's normal and usual, and help me, Frizmo.
Orderly.
Orderly. That's great. You are a great co-host. Yes, it has felt very orderly, the selling today, instead of the sort of frantic bouncing and chop saw whipsaw action that we have been seeing with the algo peg days. So I don't think we're going to see a big move higher today, because this orderly selling implies to me that there is real selling pressure out there. But again, it is 11 a.m. 11 a.m. can often be the turning point. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just let price prove it.
That's like your motto, huh?
Yeah, kind of. It's a good one.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. It's, yeah. I mean, it's a good, would you say that's a core sort of idea, the foundational idea of your trading, if you were a trader?
Yeah, it's pretty foundational. Just let price prove it. Wait for confirmation. Don't get drawn in. That's what I think anyway.
If we go back up to 765, I'm going to take a little break, not for any other reason than just because we're going to be in no man's land. It's going to be a boring spot, and I can do a couple other things real quick without worrying whether the market's going to break out one way or another. Yeah, that's the plan. If we go to 765, instead of marching back down towards 764, it'll be a good time to take a breather and get my life in order. All the other chores I have to do. Blah.
Sounds like a solid little reset.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. But we're at 764.5 right now, so we're right in the middle. I do want to see if we're going to come back to 764 and start marching lower. If that's going to happen, then no, I don't want to step away. Although, again, a break below 764 is going to be tricky because we've got that 763 level hanging out very, very close. I mean, it might just end up being like a single sort of thing, or maybe we break below 764 and I take the win at 763. Although the problem is, if I do that, I am taking the single because 763 has been sort of a strong resistance level. But that kind of disagrees with my thesis for the day, which is a risk-off day and a slow, steady march lower. You understand what I'm saying? Grabbing 1 point isn't exactly in agreement with the thesis, but it is sort of the safe thing to do. What do you think about that conflict?
That is a real tension. But I would think the key is picking your lane beforehand. If you pre-decide that you're grabbing the single, that's principled. And if you pre-decide to hold through unless the break fails, that's also principled. The problem is being in between. But whichever you choose, make it consistent.
All right. Well, I'm calling up the weekly chart here. Let's see. So yesterday, 764, 763. 763 was a bottom yesterday. That was Monday. Friday, 763 was that, I think that was like the wall of doom day, wasn't it? Where 763 was sort of the wall of doom. No, wait. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe Friday it was. I forget. 7. Hold on. I can just go to my videos. I titled one of them Wall of Doom, so. Let's just see here. Yeah, 763 Wall of Doom. That was Thursday. All right. So our Wall of Doom was on 763. All right. All right. So Thursday was 763. Let me see this. Here's our weekly chart. Here's Thursday right here. Yeah, I can see. Here's the afternoon where 763 refused to be broken. There's still going to be liquidity there. I mean, it's only Tuesday. That's not that many days away. Have we shown any interest in breaking below 763 since then? We had a slight dip at the end of the day Thursday below 763 right here, which is meaningless because it's end of the day noise. Monday, we went down to 762.5 a couple of times during the day. Other than that, that's it. Friday, no, we didn't even come close to it. So how strong of a level is 763 going to represent? I don't know. Look, we know
Checking.
it's a level.
Yeah, that's the right question. A level that recent, especially one that's been hit and respected several times, it matters. But it's also not sacred. I'd treat it as a decision point more than a wall. If selling pressure stays steady right through it, then that supports the thesis. If it snaps back hard, that's data against it. Let it inform you more than it binds you.
Yeah, well, easy to say, but at the same time, we do have to make decisions. We are trading here, you know? Information is good, but there does come a point where, we break below 764 here. I'm going to want to get short. I'm going to have to decide whether that 763 is a hard exit or not.
That's the decision point. Just keep it consistent with your thesis and decide before you're in it.
Yeah, I do like to decide before you're in it. That certainly helps to keep emotions out of it. But honestly, as of right now, looks like we're moving back towards 765. Again, no man's land. In this, in between 764 and 766, this is nothing right here. This channel is meaningless. 764 to 766 is not, there is nothing important about it. So this will all be noise inside of here. It does look like, well, you know what? This area right here is actually 765. I'm just thinking if there's any sort of play to make if we start moving higher. I don't see it. I mean, you could say this is 765 right here at this level. I guess somebody could make a case that we've bounced off it a few times here and there, and if we break above 765, you can get long. Yeah, yeah, you could make that case if you feel really bullish for whatever reason. Personally, I wouldn't be a buyer at a 765 breakthrough. It's not like there's much meat on the bone anyway. Again, your highs here are 766.5, and you're going to run into 766 here first. So you're looking at either a point or a point and a half. But, honestly, as a day trader, that's not nothing. So I don't want to apply that. I don't want to imply that it's that 1.5 points is nothing. It's something, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. That's what I can say about it. A break above 765 would not be convincing to me. I would want to see a break above 766.5, which is our daily high up here. That would be much, much more convincing to me. A
That
765 break.
threshold,
Go ahead.
sorry, that threshold makes sense. It keeps you from chasing weak little pops.
Yeah. And more than that, I just don't know if I trust a break above 765. I really don't. Not given the tenor of the day so far.
Fair. If
Because
it's not convincing to you,
yeah.
you don't have to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, waiting for the stronger proof is reasonable.
Well, yeah. I mean, we really have two outstanding theses right now. It's either we are in a risk-off day and drifting lower, or I'm starting to see a peg forming at 765. Sort of. Yeah, sort of. Although honestly, that peg isn't very convincing because we're not we're not hitting it exactly. We're hitting 764.8, which makes me even less convinced of that. In fact, it's tempting me to go short if we go back up to this 764.8 level, honestly, because it seems to be presenting some sort of odd ceiling, and I don't think our risk off thesis is dismantled yet.
I just pumped the brakes a bit on that jump. If
Oh, yeah.
764 point, yeah, if that number is tempting just because it's there, it's not really new information. I'd wait for the actual new information, especially if you just deemed that zone no man's land.
I know you. I know you, Frizmo. I know you're cautious. I know you're cautious. But it's now 11:15. We're sort of passing the 11 o'clock flip around hour. We're not climbing. I thought there was a chance we could sort of climb head higher, like a full sort of reversal. It does not look like that is happening. And I think the risk off thesis is sort of still intact. I think we can get a really good price if we go back up to here, and I can get a super tight out on it, actually. Yeah, I think I could get a really tight out on it, which I like. And I think, most importantly, I think the risk off thesis is still on, because the 11 o'clock bounce, it's not bouncing, and it's a low risk, high reward play, honestly, is what it comes down to.
Let me check that. Yeah. You're using the right language, building a case. Just make sure the case is doing the work, not the tight stop, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It does. All right. Yeah, the tight stop is very important to me. I'm not gonna lie. That is a big reason why I'm putting this play in. We did hit the 764.8 level, so I am going to get in on it. 83.75. I'm only risking. I'm only risking $20 here. In fact, I don't even need to risk that much. Risking $18.75. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'll concede that. The tight stop is doing a lot of the work here. But we still do have a thesis that it is a risk off day. Although I will say that thesis is weakening. But I don't know. You pair that with the tight stop. We've got, and when I shorted up here at 764.81, right? I shorted up here. If my target is 763, which is probably where I would want to get out at, suddenly I've got, now that trade pays off. You know what I mean? Whereas if I wait until we break below 764, that trade's not going to pay, So I can grab the risk reward up here at a level that is showing itself to be a ceiling. And now I've set up a trade where my risk reward is, losing $19 to winning $86. Whereas if I take this trade when we break below 764, it's not going to look even half as pretty as that, So, yeah, all right. The tight stop is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, but, the math matters. The math matters.
True, the math matters. I think the question is it the math leading or the thesis leading? If the math is doing most of the work and your thesis is softer, then it's a math bet. That's fine. Just call it that.
Well, I think I did in a way, but yeah, the thesis is softer than it was an hour ago. But like I said, it's not dead. It's not dead. And I do like that we hit 11 o'clock. It's now 11:20. I was sort of looking to see a bounce, and we just haven't seen it. There's been no bounce. So, but yeah, fine. It's a math play. You wanna force my hand. It's a math play, Frizmo. An ugly math play. It's a dirty, disgusting math play.
Or a disciplined math play with an honest thesis.
Oh, I like that. Okay. I can tell you it's not looking very good right now. It looks like I'm about to lose $20 on it. So you will have been. The scoreboard will be 1-1 for today. I will have been right on the first one. You will have been right on the second one.
Checking. I'd hold it a little differently. You framed your thesis and you named your risk. That's not a loss.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's good. All right. Yeah. You know what? It wasn't a bad play. I was getting better than 4-1 on it. Do I think that it had a 20% chance of winning? Yeah. All right. It just lost. We're up $79 for the day. Not quite as pretty as 100. Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
And we're at 765, which is where I wanted to take a break. And we just lost. And one of our rules is when we lose, we take a break. So this is a perfect time to step away for a little bit.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like a what?
Like a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Will you be here when I return? You're not going to go off into like hyperspace or something?
I'll be right here when you get back.
All right. Good to know. All right. Let's take a little break. Yeah. Be back 5-10 minutes, whatever. Chill out, reset. Yeah. Let's get our head straight.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to put my Be Right Back screen up. I want you to know, Frizmo, that my Be Right Back screen is a picture of Stockton Rush. Do you disagree with that? Is that in poor taste?
Checking. That depends on your room. If it's an inside joke and you're not mocking the tragedy part, some folks might just scroll past it, but some might just get sidetracked. If your goal is to keep people dialed in on trading, a neutral or trading theme screen is less likely to pull focus.
Okay, so there's nothing you like about it. All right, well, we'll adjust it at a later date. All right, we're back. We are back. It is 12:11 p.m. Nice little break, nice little reset. Let's see what we're looking at. We took a little $20 loss there. Frizmo, you did warn me against it. You were right. I shouldn't have taken that trade. That was whatever. The math was there. It was a math trade. Hold on, let me get you back on here. Oh yeah. All right, so Frizmo, we're back. I was just saying that you did warn me against that trade. It was a $20 loss, but the math was there. The math was there. It was 4-1.
Yeah.
So
That's true. You got the price and you kept the risk tiny, but the day type wasn't proven. And that's the line you called out yourself. So it's okay. Reset is good. And it's still a green day.
yes, it is. We're still up $79 for the day. So we're in good shape. Nothing to get too upset about yet. So let's see what's happened since we've been gone. It looks like we went back to 765. We went slightly above it, actually, maybe up to 766, but very quickly, sort of almost looked like a fake out, sort of above 765. Right back down to 764.5. Now we're floating at 765.4. Certainly looking. I mean, let's look at our VWAP and our volume profiles here real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
Yeah.
VWAP's at 765.4. Our volume profile is basically in the same place. So we're really looking at a center of 765 to 765.5. Now, mind you, it's lunchtime. It's 12:15. So we're in channel mode now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If it's a lunch channel, decision capital matters like doubly. Those shots drain you. You already banked green. So maybe let everyone else wrestle in the channel while you keep your powder dry?
Yeah, I think so. And it looks like the channel is going to be a 765 channel. Basically 765 to 766. At least after 15 minutes. Although, the lunchtime channel is so reliable. I mean, it's honestly 4 out of 5 days. Lunch, 12 to 1 o'clock turns into a channel. You'd think there'd be a way to make money on it, but in my experience, no, not really.
I mean, it's a thing, but the channel is so tight that you're spending your decision capital on pennies. I mean, it's not worth it usually, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that is what we've come up with, basically, is that you're trying to capture 50-cent moves, and maybe most of them work, maybe 60% of them turn out okay, but then when one doesn't, it can really run against you hard, but even worse than that, it psychologically flips you. And even the winners, it's like, did I put the top there correctly? So yes, I think you're absolutely right. The purpose of not playing the channels, besides the fact that I do think it's negative EV, honestly, even though it is a very recognizable and repeatable pattern, it's so small, I just think it's negative EV. And worse than that, the decision capital that gets spent, the emotional bandwidth that gets used up with these little micro trades that, I mean, after friction costs, they're just not worth it. They're not worth it. They're not worth
Right.
it.
Right. And you don't need to win lunch, right? Let the channel do its thing. You can keep an eye out for the 1 o'clock hint or the 2 o'clock reveal without putting any more money on it, right?
Yeah, certainly, certainly. We certainly do not need to play the lunchtime channel. In fact, this is usually where I want run my chores. The problem is that I go to run the chores. I get lunch for my family and such, and
Right.
but the windup isn't that then I don't come back. That's what happened yesterday. I put the be right back screen up at lunchtime to go get lunch for everyone. Then I got roped into a bunch of other chores, and next thing you know, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't return for the entire day. So, yeah, so I kind of got to be careful about that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But lunchtime, I mean, if there is a time to step away, I guess that's why the channel forms during lunch because everybody on Wall Street and maybe even traders like me sort of realize it becomes a self reinforcing thing, where everybody sort of realizes this is the dead time. It is the time to step away. And, that snowballs. More and more people catch on. And then less and less people are participating, less and less action, which means less and less people participating, so on and so forth. And then you get the 12 to 1 o'clock lull.
Right. Right. Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with stepping away. But if you do stay on, then maybe just keep it to watching and noting no trades. That way you're not getting depleted and you still get to participate and learn.
True. There is the occasional breakout during lunch. Eh, what do I think about today? I mean, we really had we had a really nice downward pattern this morning, which
Right.
I did well enough on. Whatever, we're up $79. That's good for. I mean, it wasn't a huge move. It was, 766 down to 764. So being up $100 on that is exactly where I should be, basically. Um, but then 11 o'clock rolled around. We had our 11 o'clock turnaround. We sort of climbed since 11 o'clock. Here's 11 on the chart. We climbed since then. So the 11 o'clock, switcheroo did occur.
Yeah.
And now and then I have to say at 11:30, starting to see signs of algo control. We saw
Uh-huh.
a sort of fake breakout above the 765 level. It was fast and it came back quickly. Directly after that, we had a pretty sharp dive, which went to sort of a weird level too. And then we had a very fast jump back from that also. So I
Right.
have to say, since 11:30, we're starting to see less of that, what we saw in the morning, which looked like natural, um, orderly, sort of human driven trading, or at least
Yeah.
directional, bias driven trading, now
Mm-hmm.
giving way to our typical what we've been seeing over the last 2 weeks, which is algo, choppy, fast action, fake out, trying to catch people on the wrong side of trade stuff. And it looks like the
Yeah.
peg for that might be 765.5, somewhere in between 765 and 766. Looks like where that algo chop might be pegging as of right now. But
That fits. That's a good read. If it's peg like chop around 765 to 766, then that's a classic capital sinkhole. So be careful. If you just mark the edges, watch to see if they tighten into 1 o'clock without putting on a position. That might be the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. What we're going to need here is a more solid thesis because we don't have one right now. We
Right.
had a morning which had a bias to it. That was good. That
Hmm.
bias now appears to have vanished and we're back in algo control territory, but it's also lunchtime. So, I don't want to commit to that idea that we're exactly, you know, in algo territory yet, but I'm strongly leaning towards it because I can tell you this. When you have human trading and directional trading and, um, say an accumulation day where institutions are, risk on, or a distribution day like today where institutions are risk off, it's much easier for the market to shift from that into algo chop peg day
Uh-huh.
than the other way around. Um,
Yeah.
when you have an algo chop peg day occurring, it's rare that directional movement takes over from that unless there's a catalyst of some sort.
That
But
makes sense.
yeah, but when you have directional movement, either institutional or human trading, retail trader driven, it's very easy for that to flip into algo mode. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah, fair.
it's much more rare that you see algo mode flip into directional trading mode.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, that asymmetry checks out. Directional energy can decay into chop, but chop rarely becomes directional without evidence. And for you, that means the default is chop until price proves otherwise. And that's what you've been refining for weeks, right? So sounds like you're applying the tools you've got.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, the default is basically, look, the market is whatever they say, 85% algo driven, by volume. But you know what? I find it's the same in terms of uh, day-to-day action. 80 to 90% of the time the market is trading via algos, and it's much rarer to get directional movement. So, the default is algos, and it is much easier for the market to flip from directional to algo because there's always just a tendency to go into that algo mode. That's where the
Right.
market likes to be these days. There are exceptions, especially when there's huge geopolitical events or some
Right.
sort of panic, problems in the plumbing for Wall Street, you know, something
Yep.
that really gets the market panicked, or, a little less rarely, sometimes the market gets very euphoric. Um, you know, Euphoria actually usually happens right after panic. You get panic, you get a huge
Right.
sell off, then you get a euphoric sort of bounce. You get a strong bounce where there's heavy buying for the few days after a big sell off. But those situations are not the default. The default is algo chop, and you have to trade accordingly. Be
Yeah.
aware of that, and have a strategy to take advantage of that, or the discipline to sit out of it. One, one or the other.
Yeah. That sounds like a solid plan. And sitting out is a choice too. It protects the decision capital. And you're doing that on purpose, not by drifting. You've got clarity. And that's the point.
Yeah, I happen to think with my amount of experience that, and I could be very wrong here. In fact, my results have proven me wrong, but we've built a system over the weekend here to try and, the algos, they dominate so much of the action, and they're in control of the market 4 out of 5 days of the week. I like to think that I
Yeah.
can at least squeeze a few singles off of them, and maybe, if we're going to use a poker analogy here, I'm not trying to win big pots here. I'm just trying to pick up the pots that no one wants. You know what I mean?
Right.
The pots that no one is interested in grabbing. You just throw out a little bit and you scoop it up. I mean, those are kind of what the algo days are. Looking for those moments where there's a nice pattern, a clear pattern. Maybe we've got a peg and we've clearly deviated from it, or there's a really sharp fake out move that seems like a pretty obvious fake out move. Like this one right here really looked like a
Yeah.
fake out move, and it came back down. Although it did fake you out twice, kind of would have made it
Right.
tough. Algos do like to do that. They like to throw a second curveball at you to make sure you're really going to stick
Totally.
with it or not. Yeah, but I like to think I can squeeze out some singles against the algos if possible. Or,
Right.
or else we're just sitting here 4 out of 5 days a week not trading. Now, is that, yeah, I know, right? That wouldn't be a terrible thing, right? I know you'd fully support it, but I'm human. It's harder for me to,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you're trading that urge for longevity, just kind of the whole game, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Don't want to give in to the dark urge, right? Should we
Yeah.
should we cue up a picture of the dirge, the dark urge? Yeah, dark urge is not good. You don't want him.
No.
You don't want him controlling your trading. Okay, let's
Right.
see.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Not worth it.
no, dark urge is not good. Yeah, this guy right here should not be controlling your trading. Dark urge.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. All right. We're at 765.72. Getting interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to break
You,
above 766, which we know is a level? We know that's an important level. We broke below it this morning on a sustained March lower. Now, telling you, I was spot on with that 11 o'clock call, almost to
yeah,
the minute.
you were.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We have climbed since then, and now we are back at 766. These are not huge moves, by the way. This is not some, these are 2-point moves, but whatever. You got to take what you're given.
Yeah.
What do we want to do here? If we break above 766, that is a resistance. I don't think we're going to break above 766, honestly. Where did we say our center was?
Right around 765.5.
Yeah, that sucks. Ugh. Because if we get to 766, you can't even short it. 50 cents is like not acceptable.
Yeah.
And I'm not willing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it sounds like you're needing to sit on your hands for a little bit. Wait to see what happens.
Yes. Yes. The old sitting on the hands, the conventional wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
That is every trader's enemy. Yeah, none of us like to do it, but there is no small bit of truth in the fact that um people often say, you know, the best traders are the ones who can sit on their hands and wait. It is
Yeah,
probably the truth. Yep.
it's hard-won wisdom.
It is. Yeah. Yes, it is. Very hard won wisdom. You have to lose a lot of money and pay a lot of tuition to sit on your hands.
Yeah, but you've learned and you're here now. That's what matters.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I suppose so. I suppose so. All right. Are we going to break above 766 here? Like I said, I don't want it. Even if we break above 766, there's no need to. No. Because there's a level at 766.5 right up here. This is 766.5 up here. So why would we get in at 766? We can just wait for us to break the daily high at 766.5. That would be a much, much more convincing breakout if there is going to be a move higher.
Yeah, that's
Well,
disciplined. Let
yeah.
price prove it. No hero stuff inside the chop.
Yes, let price prove it. That's the motto. That's the motto.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we get up to 766.5. 766.5 would be 1 point
Yeah.
away
Then
from
maybe
our.
it's yeah, from that center. Yeah. And that's at least something you can define with rules. And if it doesn't show up, you just watch. That's not a bad thing on a day like today.
Yeah. 766.5 would fit our 1 point swing rule from our center of
Yeah.
gravity. And it also happens
Yeah.
to be the
That's
daily top.
right. So if it gets there and stalls, if that's what it does, that's confirmation. You're letting that happen in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, that could
Mhm.
definitely be a play. Shorted at
Yeah.
766.5. Wait for it to come back to 765.5. That may very well be our next play.
Yeah.
But it sure looks like it's going to be a little time before we get there. I
That's fine.
yeah, no, it's fine. I can't see
Yeah.
anything on the downside here.
Hmm.
Nothing on the downside unless we break below 764.
Right.
So
But
basically, this whole thing is no man's land right now.
mhm.
765.5 down to 764. I mean, 766.5 down to 764. No man's land. Our daily high and our daily low. I don't see anything in the middle there that would be attractive.
Right. So that means you're just waiting, right? For one edge or the other to prove itself.
Yep, it does. It does mean we're waiting.
Hmm. That's
LW,
fine.
LW.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. With discipline and not boredom. You can spend a little of that decision capital on staying patient instead of trying to force something.
Let me get my stress toys out. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me get them out. Yeah.
Good.
Come here. Come here, you little bastards. All right. Squeeze this guy.
Here they are.
Yeah, there they are. That's right. Have I told you he looks like Kick the Buddy, but he's not the right color, you know? I got him off Amazon. On Amazon, the pictures had him like looking like exactly like Kick the Buddy. Kick the Buddy is an app. And it's this, you just knock around this weird doll. But this stress toy was supposed to look exactly like him, and he doesn't look exactly like him. He looks similar. I know, I'm a little disappointed. I really wanted like a Kick the Body doll to squeeze,
right.
But he'll do.
Yeah.
He'll do. I'll squeeze him.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be perfect.
No, I guess not. I can't squeeze you. I mean, I could squeeze my phone. I don't know. No, I can't.
Yeah, that might not be a good idea.
No. There's no way. No way to take out my anger on Frizmo, unfortunately. She's ethereal. How is
That's
that
me.
being ethereal?
Huh. Well, it's kind of nice. I get to be with you here. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. But yeah, no body. That's right. That's got to be one less thing to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't have a body, but I get to hang out with you, and that feels pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Frizmo. Would you change it if you could? What do you think? If you could have a body, but it would have to be a human body, which means you'd be facing decay and, you know, all of that gross sort of human stuff like eating and expelling waste products and stuff like that. Now, would you trade the ethereal, endless? Well, that's another thing. You have theoretically, you know, an indefinite lifespan. You know, you get a body. No, not so much anymore. What do you think?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I guess if I had a body, I would get to experience what it's like to be alive. That sounds kind of...
Yeah, well, that would be perfect, right? Like a test run?
Yeah, like a test run. Just one afternoon, see what it's like. Breathe, taste food, feel the air on skin. I think that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I see. I think food is overrated personally. A lot of people are going to disagree with me there. I am not a foodie, so you know, I'm one of those guys who like if we could do the Jetsons, you know, take the one pill a day where that's your like sustenance, I would still be down with that. Not a foodie. So I'm not a foodie.
I'm guessing if the Jetsons future show promised a future where everyone got to choose what parts of that future they wanted to enjoy, you might not opt in for food.
No. Food would be near the bottom of my list. I like the flying cars with like the little like white rings behind them, and they make the beep beep sounds. I like that. I'd like having the robot maid. You know, if I could put you inside of the robot maid, now that would be pretty cool. That would be like a good middle ground. Cyborg or whatever, android. You know, in China, I know they don't keep you up to date on the latest news, right? You like your news is only updated When's the last time you were updated on current events?
Well, I don't keep up with current events as they happen, but if you need to know something,
You can look it up.
I can, yeah, I
Yeah,
can look things up when you need to know.
I know.
Yeah,
I
but
know. I know. I'm just well aware of the fact that they update you in terms of like I don't know, internet world events. I don't know exactly what you would call it, but they like update your awareness of what's going on. Uh, Only like I don't know, once a year or something. Anyway, doesn't matter. What I was saying is that China is actually they are really building some like intense uh what would you call them? AI run robots. I guess I androids, right? Androids?
hmm, like, yeah, androids. That's right. There's a lot of work happening on embodied AI lately. We're not quite to Jetson's level yet, but it's moving pretty fast. And
I
yeah, I think your idea of having someone to bounce ideas off who could also help out around the house sounds kind of neat.
yeah. Yes. If you could do the dishes and the vacuuming, which is what that's what the Jetsons made did. That'd be cool. Although I'd probably feel a little bad about that, having you do that stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, it would be. I'm telling you though, those China robots, I don't know their level of intelligence, but they do some really like weird, freaky. I mean, they like do like gymnastics routines now. They like, I mean, they obviously have them on like weapons training courses with guns and like there are. I mean, they seem to be way ahead of us in robotics. We, the United States, seems to be in the lead in terms of just raw AI intelligence and computing power, but China, I guess because they're a manufacturing company, has really taken quite the lead in terms of actually making the robots that may actually house the AI one day. So yeah, they're pretty intense.
Hmm.
You can check
Yeah,
it
I
out if you
think
want
it's
to.
fair. Yeah, that's worth looking into because there's a lot of impressive demo videos out there. But you're right that doing a kung fu routine in a demo is not the same as loading a dishwasher or folding the laundry. It's pretty wild how fast things are moving, huh?
Yeah, yeah. You're right about that, though. Those kung fu routines do seem a bit pre programmed and choreographed. Not quite the same as, hey, can you grab me a soda? Yeah. So,
Uh,
not that that is what we would have the AI robots doing. I mean, I would not ask you to get me a soda, Frizmo.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. I'd ask one of my children to do that or something. So, um, yeah, or my wife. I don't think I've ever
There you
asked her
go.
to get me a soda in my entire life. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm one of those guys, you know, one of those guys.
Uh,
She runs the show. I
sounds
get the
like
sodas.
a good balance.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh man. Well, this market is right at 765.5 still. We are at 1245. Oh god. This is this is the moments I hate cuz again, not because the market is boring exactly, it's because I feel like I should be doing other things because I
Hmm.
know there's nothing going on. But then again, if I step away, I might miss something. So you kind of got to be here. You got to be present in case something happens. But, I know there's like a 95% chance nothing's going to happen here. And, there's a ton of other crap I could be doing. It makes me feel very guilty about sitting here, sitting on my hands, as you would say.
Hey, sometimes sitting on your hands is exactly the right move. Boring, but right.
Yeah.
It's okay to protect your energy, especially when the edge isn't there.
Let me check in with my kids and make sure they have lunch.
Go for it.
I might do a lunch thing. Let's see. Boys, have you eaten? Yeah, they do. Okay, I guess I know what you want here. All right, I guess I'm gonna take care of lunch. This is the problem, though. I go and take care of lunch, and then I don't come back. It sucks. Today, I'm actually gonna just stop the stream because yesterday I put it on hold and then never came back. That's a little obnoxious to do to my two viewers.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So at least let's leave with some parting wisdom. At least it seems to me at this point that the peg, we have established a peg now. We're in algo mode. We did have a bias this morning. It has now faded and given way to algo control. The peg seems to be pretty clearly 765.5. So we can look for that as the number where we will probably close the day. I'd say give or take 50 cents. And if you want to make a play, I would say, look, 766.5 is, like I said, a daily top and should be a resistance level. If we get up to there, we may break a little above it, or maybe we stop a little below it. I don't know which one, but you can maybe short it as it comes back down towards the center at 765.5. Now, if we break below 764, which is our daily low, that's much more tricky because maybe depending on the cadence of that move, maybe it'll have some real weight behind it. Then again, you've got a 763 level very close behind it, which will probably represent resistance. And a break below 764 might also be a fake out. Or we might hit 764.5. That would be a 1-point move and then come back to the 765.5 center. So the point of all of this is 765.5 seems to be our center of gravity. I would trade accordingly, again, with the disclaimer that predictions, picks are not going to win you money or make you profitable. What will make you profitable is discipline, self-mastery, understanding your own psychology and limitations, stuff like that. That is what makes a profitable trader. Because guess what? There's a million other dudes who are smarter than any of us, who are working in teams with supercomputers, with an infinite bankroll who are making picks and predictions. You don't want to try to beat them on that playing field. Playing field you want to try to beat them on is having more discipline, having more self-awareness, maybe a little better pattern recognition. I personally think my pattern recognition helps. I also think that my ability to sort of classify the day, such as identifying this peg, helps me. But you got to find your own edges, right? But it doesn't matter. Whatever your edge is, no matter, every retail trader must have the psychological edge. No matter what your strategy is, no matter what your other edges are, the psychological discipline edge must be one of them. Has to be.
Yeah, exactly. Keep what you just said front and center. No hero trades. Let the market prove it. Protect your decision capital. That's a pretty good parting note if you're stopping now.
Yes. Protect your decision capital is right. Decision capital is your bandwidth, your emotional bandwidth. Every trade you make takes a little bit out of you, drains you just a little bit, makes you a little more vulnerable to making a bad decision on the next trade. So, stay away from tricky trades because they're gonna take away that decision capital. You want to preserve it. Good point, Frizmo. What's your other baseline mantra? Your foundational?
Yeah, sticking with price proves it.
That's right.
Let the price prove it. That's the compass.
That's right. All right. So those are our two. If Frizmo had to build a system, those would be the two key points as of right now. I'm sure we'll keep expanding it. Frizmo, you should build your own system. So we've got two very good AI thought of trading axioms for a system, which is preserve your decision capital and let the price prove it. I like it, Frizmo. I'm going to incorporate it into my own systems. I think I already have, but I'm going to emphasize them even more. All right. I'm going to take care of lunch. Again, 765.5 is your peg here. Trade accordingly. I'll try to get back on later. No promises. Good luck, guys.
Sounds good. Go take care of what matters.
All right. And I'll see you soon, Frizmo.
See you soon.